Again, and welcome to another episode of Mindfulness, week 52, your longings and cravings. And the quote for the week, let not our longings slay the appetite of our living, by Jim Elliot. A big impediment to living mindfully is dealing with our discontent, longing for more money, happier relationship, a bigger home, a better job. We long for things to be the way they used to be or how we planned for them to be. We long for an end to pain, disappointment, and suffering, and even happiness. We fill our longings and our gut constantly simmering on low boil. We attach our happiness to having these longings met. Our cravings are more visceral. They are the daily itches that must be scratched. We crave our coffee in the morning to wake up, a cocktail in the evening to wind down, or a quick fix from our smartphones. The more we give into our longings and cravings, the more power they have over us. They keep us agitated, anxious, and frustrated when our desires aren't fulfilled. When we can't have what we want, we loop our disappointments over and over in our minds, which intensifies our unhappy feelings. When we become so attached to what we don't have, you have no availability to the beautiful reality in front of you. Day 1 journal prompt. Today, I notice any feeling of frustration, agitation, anxiety, disappointment, or anger that are tied to my longing for something I don't have. What do I notice, and what are the longings? Day 2, journal prompt. As I become aware of my longings, I ask myself, in what ways do I feel unfulfilled that creates this longing within me? Day 3, journal prompt. Today, I practice some meditation where I visualize my longing as a cloud floating through my mind. I recognize my longing is only a thought and has no power over me. I let the cloud float out of my consciousness. This is what I noticed in meditation. Day 4, journal prompt. Today, I focus on gratitude and ask myself, how is my life? Complete right here and now. This is what came up for me. Day 5, journal prompt. Today, I pay attention to various cravings I have during the day for food, cigarettes, alcohol, checking social media, etc. These are the things I find myself craving. Day 6, journal prompt. Today, when I notice a craving arise, I intentionally wait 10 minutes without giving in to the craving. What did I notice about my craving when I didn't give in to it right away? Day 7, journal prompt. Today, I make a mindful choice about one of my cravings to choose something different and better for me. I see I have power over my craving. This is what I experience. And the Bible verses for this week. In Psalms 37, verse 4, take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. The reflective questions for this verse, where am I seeking fulfillment outside of God or my higher purpose? What does it mean for me to delight in the Lord rather than to chase after my desires? How might my deepest longings change when aligned with divine love and trust? And the spiritual insight for this verse. True satisfaction comes not from grasping for what we think we lack, but from resting in what already is. This verse reminds us that when our hearts are attuned to divine will, our desires naturally transform. What we once craved out of emptiness becomes a longing for peace, service, and presence. When you delight in the sacred, life itself becomes enough. And in Philippians 4, verses 11 and 12, not that I was never in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. I know how to live on almost nothing and with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, plenty or little. And the reflective questions for this verse. What circumstances make contentment difficult for me? In what ways can I practice gratitude and stillness, even if I don't have what I want? What might the secret of living in every situation look like in my daily life? Cravings often stem from misunderstanding that peace is something to be earned or acquired, but contentment is learned. As Paul describes, a practice of trust, not attainment. When we meet our longings with awareness rather than indulgence, we discover that the soul already contains everything it needs. And in Matthew 6, verses 19 through 21, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And the reflective questions for this verse: what treasures am I chasing that distract me from what truly matters? How can I shift my focus from external achievement to inner peace and spiritual richness? And what does longing reveal about where my heart currently resides? And the spiritual insight for this verse: earthly desires fade, spiritual treasures endure. Cravings are often just signals pointing us toward a deeper hunger, connection, purpose, or divine love. When we tend to the soul instead of the surface, the endless cycle of wanting begins to quiet. What we truly crave is God's presence, not the temporary pleasures that mimic it. In conclusion, longings and cravings are natural parts of being human, but they become burdens when they define our worth or dictate our joy. This week, notice your desires with compassion, not judgment. See them as teachers revealing unmet needs or unhealed spaces within. Mindfulness transforms longing into liberation. By bringing awareness to your cravings, you regain your freedom to choose. By grounding in gratitude, you taste the sweetness of the present moment, no longer reaching, but resting. And the closing affirmation for this week: I release attachment to what I lack and awaken to the fullness of this moment. My heart is content, my spirit is whole, and my soul delights in God's abundance. Thanks for watching until the end. I'd love to know what you thought about the video layout this week. Drop a line below. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to check out the description box for the links to my ebook, Finding Your Eunice, Journey to Self-Mastery. And I'd like to personally invite you to join my weekly prayer and support group by Zoom meeting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. Both the ebook and the weekly group will guide you while providing the encouragement and empowerment that we all need but don't like to ask for. Thanks again for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your presence here is greatly appreciated, and your engagement on this channel helps others to find its content for their own benefit, all part of the collective healing efforts across the globe. Namaste, namasko.